Hello, welcome to my road to the British Champs, and I am freaking exhausted. This has been a tough week, both in terms of work, like I've been outside in the sun, just literally, it just seems like all day, every day, and training, yeah, training's been good, like in some respects, like my bench has been, like my bench feels better than ever. I feel really strong. I'm the most confident I've ever been about hitting a PR, like I know I'm 100% capable of hitting a PR. Oh, it's just a case of whether I kind of execute it when it comes to testing. And in terms of deadlift, that's gone really well as well. Like I'm feeling good the last few weeks. It's come on, in fact more than that, the last kind of, the last like 2 months I guess, maybe more than that even. It's come on really well. So again, I'm feeling pretty bloody confident there. It's just my squats, it's so ironic, like, my squat was flying up for so long, my deadlift did not move, and now suddenly it's almost like role reversal. Like my deadlift now is coming up and my squat's kind of plateaued a little bit. I think that's kind of more to do with the way I was doing it. Like I was upping my squat so frequently, it was going up so quickly. Obviously it was only a matter of time before that happened. I mean, it still feels good, and I still think I've got a PR there, if I get it right. But yeah, my squat is the one thing that's kind of led me to I'm going to change things around basically. So if you watched my video from last week on my new training program, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it now. It's cool. I think it's called like my new training plan. Go and watch it now. It's pretty cool. But yeah, basically I am going to shift some things around. I'm not going to make huge sweeping changes, but there will be some reasonably significant changes happening to the training program in terms of intensity mainly, and also just the way I set things up, because I think my CNS is just taking an absolute hammering, and particularly in the squats, that seems to be, the squat is the one thing at the moment where it's kind of, that's becoming obvious, where my CNS is fatigued, it kind of tends to rear its head when it comes to squatting. So I will make some changes, but of course you'll be the first to know about that, and you'll see it in these videos. Anyway, yeah, now in terms of training in the build up to the British Champs, what I'll do is so this week is done now. I did a full week and it was pretty tough. I kind of missed a few. You'll see what's going to happen in a minute, obviously. What I'll do is I'll run another kind of half week, going into a deload kind of half week, and then I'll test. So that will be up probably in a week or 2 weeks time. Yeah, so you'll see my PR attempts, hopefully some PRs across the board. I mean, that'll be awesome if I can get that. And then it'll be one last training block leading up to the British Champ. So it really isn't very long. Like every time I think about it, I get like super excited. It really is not very far away now. So yeah, test, training block, deload. I'm gonna make sure I'm fully deloaded for the British Champs. And then it is game time, my friends. And yeah, I mean, I feel ready. I feel like I'm ready to go now. I want to get stronger before then. I really want to try and be a contender for a top 3 if possible. I think that's possibly a bit optimistic, but we'll see. I definitely would like to be up there, the kind of upper end of the list of lifters, but we will see what happens. Anyway, I've waffled on for long enough. So the training footage you're about to see is pretty intense, as you probably gathered from the intro. There's quite a lot of kind of exciting slash erotic action. There's only really one way you can enjoy it. You need to go to your local council base and change your name by default to Gary. If your name's already Gary, just change it to Gary. Then you need to go outside to the local area and just get as many people as possible to change their name to Gary as well. So obviously I would probably initially round up all the Garys you can find, get them on board, give them, you know, fanny packs with Gary written on them, badges and stuff, and then just try and get as many Garys going as you can. So get petitions going, maybe like waterboard some of them. You need to get people to change their name to Gary. So maybe devote six to 8 months of hard labour doing that. When you've got at least 3,500 Garys on board, then by all means just go home, get the video loaded up and enjoy.
And rolling. So Monday was a squat session as always, and I went for, the plan was to do 5 doubles at 225 kilos, 496 pounds. So pushing on to 500 pounds here. Didn't quite go to plan. Like the first two sets weren't too bad. I felt pretty good. I mean, this is the first one you'll see. It doesn't move too badly. The third set was a massive grind, and the fourth set, which we'll see in a second, spoiler alert, I didn't get. Now, squats, I mean, I said it a minute ago, squats are the lift that's kind of starting to stall. Like deadlift and bench are going really well for me. Squats still going okay, and I still feel pretty strong, but it's just, they're not going as well. I think because I had 6 months where my squat was flying up so well, I always knew it was kind of a matter of time before it did start to plateau at some point, and it's kind of happening now. And so although it's still going reasonably well, like I'm still hitting PRs most of the time in my sets and reps, it's just because it's not so, like spectacular as it was, it just feels a bit rubbish. It's kind of like I'm on a bit of a downer. Yeah, so that was the fourth set. I mean, the plan was to do 5 sets. Obviously, after that set, there was no point doing any more, so I left it there. I did just feel really fatigued. Like the biggest thing for me at the moment with my squats, I'm getting a bit of hip flexor pain as well. Actually, to be fair, to go with the neural fatigue, but that's the biggest thing. My neural fatigue, I just feel really like numb, like dull, unresponsive. I feel like I need a deload, which is obviously what I'm going to be doing soon. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange because obviously deadlifts, which is generally very CNS taxing, feel good. It's just my squats where I've just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, whereas before I was really excited about squats and I was always looking forward to sessions, now it's kind of not so much. Now it's more deadlifts and bench that I'm looking forward to. I guess it's kind of natural. I know things kind of go in cycles, but yeah, at the moment my squat definitely needs something to change because it's just feeling a bit rubbish. Anyway, I did my squat eccentric work as you saw a minute ago, and then Tuesday was bench press day. So this was the plan was 5 doubles, so 5 sets of 2 at 152.5 kilograms, 336. Ended up getting 4. The fourth one was a big grind, so I decided to leave it there, but still a pretty decent PR, to be fair, to be getting that much weight for doubles. The first one, I mean, this is the first one there you see, it actually moves really well, so to be getting this for sets of 2 is pretty impressive, to be fair. I've said it before, my bench press right now is feeling better than ever. I feel really good. I feel very confident when it comes to it, of hitting a bench press PR, but we shall see. I don't want to kind of count my chickens because it would be pretty embarrassing if I didn't. Yeah, so going back to the squats, I mean, I've always, the whole time I've been training, the last kind of year and a bit where I've been doing my own thing, I've always known that I was going to have to move things around. I mean, I have kind of been changing things as I go, but I know that I'm due a little bit of an overhaul, and I think now is the time to do it. So if you watched my video last week about my new training plan, if you didn't, go and watch it now because it's awesome. I'm going to be making some alterations to my schedule. I mean, things won't be massively different. It's more just the kind of intensity and the rep and set patterns that I'm going to be changing around because I think what I'm doing at the moment is too neurally taxing. It's too heavy on my CNS. I mean, pretty much every day is a heavy, kind of maximal day, so I don't think that is sustainable. Obviously, for a beginner, you can kind of do that somewhat. That kind of linear progression will just keep going for a while. I'm now kind of intermediate, I guess, so I think I need to change things around. I can't just continually be upping the weights every session and just kind of keep doing the same thing because it won't work. So I'll obviously keep you posted on that front, but yeah, I will be making some changes to the program. Anyway, Wednesday was deadlift day. I went for 5 singles, 245 kilograms, 540 pounds, and this felt really good. Like, you saw the first one there, it moved really well. I was actually contemplating for a bit going for a PR attempt because it did move so well, but I decided to kind of play it safe and just stick to the plan, and so I just went through with the 5 singles. This is the 5th of the 5. You see there, it's a pretty big grind, but again, I knew I had it. Like, my deadlifts at the moment are feeling good. I feel like every time I get up to the bar, I'm going to rip it off the floor. I mean, that's the biggest thing. My speed off the floor is so much better than it was. Like, if you look at my old deadlifts, every time I failed a rep, it would always be I'd get stuck on the floor. And even if I got it, the first kind of few inches were always really slow. Now it's kind of moving off the floor so much faster. And it's just awesome. It's such a big change. Right, accessory work. I did 3 sets of 5 at 140 kilos, 309 pounds, deficit, pause deadlifts, which I'm all over at the moment. That's my kind of main and kind of only accessory for my deadlifts. And doing those beltless, as is the case with my squat accessory work, doing it beltless and sleeveless, just to kind of give my core a little bit of a hammering. Then, as you know, Thursday is a rest day, so Friday was my second squat session, and this one went well. And to be fair, this kind of Friday is always like a rep day for me, so whether it's 3 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 10, it's been going really well. These feel good. Like, this is 182.5 kilograms, 402 pounds, and again, it was moving really, really well. Like, the same as last week. In fact, I've done this, I think, 4 or 5 times now, and every time I do it, you know, it obviously is comparatively light, but it's still a reasonable weight, and it's moving really fast. I'm doing this for sets of 8, and I could be doing it, you know, like for well over 10 reps. It feels good, so that's nice, and it gives me a chance to work on my form. You see, I'm keeping my knees out. I'm kind of really focusing on trying to keep my knees out, keep them tracking, you know, nicely, not kind of caving in, and they feel good. So that is kind of like a nice squat experience for me, as opposed to the other heavy session, which isn't going quite so well. But like I said, when I change things around, hopefully there'll be a lot more nice sessions and less you know, like rubbish feeling crap sessions, because they're obviously not conducive to gains. Here is my third of the 3 sets, which again felt good, felt really, really comfortable. It's just a different experience. Like, although obviously it's almost like, you know, hard cardiovascularly speaking, but in terms of how it feels in your back, it's just nice unracking a weight and not feeling like your organs are going to explode, you know, just feeling like the weight is quite light on your back. It's a nice change, and it is good to mix it up in that way. And I think because obviously there's more emphasis on hypertrophy, it should in theory lead to some more gains, because there'll be more kind of potential for strength there, but we shall see. Anyway, after this session, things went a little bit different. So you would have seen from the previous week, or you probably would have seen if you watch look at my Instagram, that kind of stuff. I've been in Cornwall, so this session was on Friday. Here's my squat accessory work, by the way. I went for sets of 3 pause squats, 160 kilos, 353 pounds, which were quite kind of grindy, but they always are, because after the main sets, I'm always a bit kind of over it, and plus they're beltless and sleeveless. Anyway, yeah, so this was Friday. On the Friday evening, so after this session, we drove to Cornwall. So my Cez's uncle is renting a place down there, so we're all going to kind of go and gate crash. And it's freaking awesome. But yeah, basically what that meant was, after like a 6.5 hour drive on Friday night, did not fancy training on Saturday. Plus we were kind of getting bedded into the house and stuff, and looking around and doing fun, cool stuff. So I sacked it off, and I did my bench press on the Sunday. Now, the session planned was to do 5 singles at 160 kilograms, 353 pounds. Got to the gym, and it was kind of not ideal. Like, the bench was one of those horrible techno gym squidgy benches. The rack was a bit kind of weaselly. The plates were all over the place, so it was not an ideal setup. However, that first single kind of felt really, really good to me, and because I'm an idiot, I decided to go for a PR. So here it is, 167.5 kilos, 369 pounds, and I didn't get it, which is very, very irritating. I mean, that is as close as you'll get to getting it without getting it. If I'd kind of, like, my elbows flared, if I'd kind of nailed it and kept my elbows tucked, I probably would have had it. But to be honest, in retrospect, it's kind of a good thing, because if I'm that close to getting it in this environment without being deloaded, when I deload and test soon, it should be there. And then after that, I just kind of played around, did about 4 or 5 sets with various weights, various reps, and that, my friends, was my session, and that was my week. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.